is that you need to prepare for it. A webinar called How to Succeed on Online Training. We realized that you guys have been forced into online training, and there's a lot of emotions and feelings and things that come along with that. And we want to make sure that you're best prepared to succeed at this new way of learning to help you. So we've come up with this webinar. So the first thing to realize in succeeding at online success is that you need to prepare for it. It's kind of like when you go to your first day of school again, you prepare for it. You go to the store, you buy your new clothes, you buy your new work pencils and crayons, and you make sure that everything's sharp and looks good. You pack your stuff for the night before, you pack your lunch, and then you get on the bus and you go to school. There's preparation involved. Same with online. The only difference is that this might be the first time you've done online training and schooling, where you've probably gone to school a few times and have down pat your routine. So the first part of it is that you have to get organized. And the key word that I like to focus on in this section is called Zen. Zen is basically that feeling of easygoing calmness. And in order to feel easygoing calm about something you don't understand, first step is to create the environment for great things to happen. So let's look into this. The first part is the feelings. So we all have feelings associated with things that get dropped into our laps with life, and they can vary. They can be excitement, they can be fear, they can be worry, they can be happiness, they can be joy. You can have a million different feelings about one specific topic, and that's okay, that's normal. In order to succeed with online training or any sort of new opportunity that you come across, the first thing you have to do is address your feelings. If you have these feelings going on and they are overtaking your brain, it can impede your ability to continue to grow, to continue to learn, to continue to listen. So when you are addressing the feelings, you have to address your emotions and not get stuck in your feelings. You have to let those go and open the gates up to listening to other things, or you'll have unsuccessful learning. You need to identify what the feelings are that you're having. So over on the right, you can see the emotions vocabulary chart. There's a lot of different feelings there, and just picking out what feelings it is. Are you feeling frustrated? Are you feeling lonely? Are you feeling silly? You know? And then once you give them a name, you can understand, well, why am I feeling lonely? Oh, okay, I'm feeling lonely because I'm not seeing anybody. I'm not talking to anybody. I'm not seeing my teacher. Well, that's a very understandable feeling. And I believe if you just take the opportunity to chat with your other students and your teacher, you'll understand that they're feeling the same thing too. Take time to work through your emotions and your feelings and really focus on that mental health piece. You're not alone, and there's EAs and teachers, principals, and ECEs, and lots of people online that are willing and waiting to help you. You just have to reach out. So the next part is forgiveness. Forgiveness is a funny thing. It kind of accompanies life in the way that in order to get past anything and to move on to succeed, you have to forgive whatever it is that's holding you back. So being stuck in your negative headspace is going to hinder you. And there's a ton of people that feel this way. I've already done this presentation with some high school kids, and pretty much I would say 95% of them felt that they were very negative about the online learning. And we worked through the forgiveness piece, and then they were able to work. And this week when I checked in with them, they said they were feeling so much better. So it's important to know that others are feeling the same way. You need to learn to forgive yourself, maybe, or forgive the circumstances. Maybe you're upset that the schools are closed, or forgive the other people. Maybe there's something else that's going on, or you're not quite happy with how your courses are displayed. Whatever it is, if we get stuck in that anger, that piece, that we're not going to grow, so we have to forgive. Be kind to yourself. That is so important. I can't stress that enough. I know for myself, it's been really hard to lower my expectations, but this is a new learning for us. We're making history here. It's a whole new experience, and there's going to be so many things that we got to get through along the way. Be kind to yourself, forgive yourself, and allow for mistakes and learning. Lastly, don't forget to breathe. That is a really important one. Scheduling. This is a great little tip for you guys for online success. Try and print a schedule, a daily schedule that starts when you wake up and goes until your end of your day. Each day you should be scheduling time for each subject, and make sure you talk with the other people in your house so that you're not using the computer or the Wi-Fi at the same time. Make sure that you have that communication open, and then write it down. This is my biggest tip for scheduling, is make sure you write down when you're going to do it, so then you actually follow through and do it. So on Monday at 10 o'clock, I'm going to do English, and I'm going to do it for an hour. So I'm going to write in English, etc., etc. Set an alarm on your alarm clock to correspond with the times 10 minutes before each time of the class that you've picked. This way it will remind you that, yep, I got something to do and I need to get on it, so that we don't get lost in this age right now of not having a set schedule. Make sure you schedule breaks. This is really important. When you guys are in school, you have breaks, whether it's recess or whether it's between period breaks. There's always a break in the schedule to give your mind that rest. Make sure you take those two. Make sure you pick time appropriate breaks, so you're not working on something for 5 minutes and then having a 30-minute break. You're going to do the opposite. And then make sure that what you're doing as a break isn't more computer. It's not more internet. Give your mind, your eyes, and your body a break from that visual stimulation. Go for a walk, or play outside, or go talk to somebody, make a snack. Just take a break that's not computer related. Make sure you set a timer for your break so you remember to come back. This is a really good one too. Write down any assignments on your schedule, their due dates, and write down your tests, so then you don't forget. So another really great important thing is focus. If you starve your distractions, you're going to feed your focus. It's sometimes really hard to focus, and that's okay. We understand that, especially when you have the computer, which you've probably used up until now for playing games and stuff. That's okay. So how do you get focus? Find a special area for you to work. It's free of visual distractions. You need to clear the area, clear your workspace, and make sure those distractions are out of the way too. You need to turn off your notifications on your computer. You shouldn't be having things popping up telling you someone's emailed you or whatever. Clear all that off, and turn your phone on airplane mode. Now this might be a hard one because we're so connected to our cell phones, but if you turn your phone on airplane mode while you're doing your classwork, it's going to be so much more beneficial to you focusing and feeling like you've actually learned something. I promise. Organize the space and your computer how you need it. So at school, you're going to organize your desk. Well, we're not at school, so your computer is your desk. So make sure you organize your laptop or your computer desktop how you want it to look. Also, I really found this cool option. It's called a distiller, and it's in almost all internet browsers, and it clears up the visual distractions for you. So if you turn it on, the 3 dots in your web browser at the right-hand corner, if you click on those, you'll go down and you can find distiller or read mode. And basically it takes off all the ads and all the pictures on your web page. So all you have is the words. I thought that was really cool. So step 2 is getting comfortable. So it's maybe a little bit uncomfortable for you guys to do online versus paper. I know that you have a lot more experience with computers in school than I did growing up. So maybe it won't be, but the first thing that you guys should have done, and if you haven't, do it now, is exploration. So make sure you write down your password and your login for your online learning so that if your passwords get wiped, you actually have access to getting in. Give yourself a chance to explore the site. Pretend you're going on a scavenger hunt, so that's super cool. So when you're logged on to your portal, make sure you press all the buttons and see where it goes. Write down how you got to places. Check it out because there's some cool stuff in there and you're never going to know where it is if you don't explore. Think of it as if you guys were outside in the world going on a hike and you wanted to find the coolest mountain ever. How would you record it? You would make a map, you would maybe write down directions of where you started, and you just keep walking and keep checking things out, lifting things up, looking over little areas or looking down areas, right? That's what you're going to do with the website. You're going to organize your online workspace to however you like it. So I don't know how your guys' portal looks, but maybe you want the icon for reading to be over in the left-hand corner and the icon for math to be in the right-hand corner. If you can organize it, you do what you have to do to make yourself feel comfortable. And enjoy. That is the main thing that I think in this slide that I really want to focus on is your enjoyment. I know this is scary. I know this is overwhelming. Or maybe it's none of those things and maybe it's just something you have to do. But in 10, 20 years, when you look back on this part of your life, do you want to remember that you were enjoying it, that it was happy, it was a new experience? Or do you want to just not even remember it at all and be like, oh yeah, that was kind of something that happened? Take a moment to try and enjoy your life. Make sure you feel comfortable. So this is an important one too, because as you can see by the picture, there's your comfort zone, and then there's where the magic happens. And what kind of magic we're looking at is your success in school. So this might be a little bit out of your comfort zone, and that's okay. It's okay to feel that way. But the point of this picture is just because it's out of your mental comfort zone doesn't mean it should be out of your physical comfort zone. So I want you guys to make sure that you're physically comfortable while you're taking these courses. So make sure that you have a comfortable workstation. It's going to help you stay focused. You got to find a comfortable chair. You got to find a comfortable table. The temperature shouldn't be too hot or too cold. Bring a drink, and the lighting should be optimal. So you don't want to have anything that's going to make you too discomfort. So this is my last section, really. It's helpful tips. We probably got about another 10 slides or so. So I say helpful tips from a pro. I've taken a lot of online courses, and these are just things that I've compiled together. I think they're great, and I hope you do too. So the first thing is connection. It's really important to stay connected in an online course because you're physically not together. You're not able to be connected. So the first point is to write down alternative access to your teacher, aside from online, in case your Wi-Fi starts working or in case all of the internet doesn't work. You need to have a way that you can get a hold of your teacher or the school to say, hey, there's something going on right now. I can't access my schooling, but I'm still here. Connect with other students and your teacher about anything. Again, connection, key. So when you're in school in a physical classroom, you put your hand up, you say, hey, how's it going? Maybe you guys talk about your lunch or you have recess together. Well, this is now taking over all of that. So have those conversations in your appropriate conversation area. Make sure you're staying connected with your friends and your teacher, and just share what's going on in your life, because we all like to know that everybody's doing okay, and sometimes it makes us feel better. Check in with your teacher. They're definitely not okay. This is a funny one. Your teacher is just fine. But this is just as the feelings that you have about online, guess what? They have them too. It's okay, just give your teacher some feedback. That was a really great lesson. Thanks for doing that. I miss seeing you, or whatever you want to say. Your teacher is going to like that, and it helps with your connection, feeling connected to the class, and it helps with her connection or his connection, feeling connected to you. Share your ideas. So you know how they say word warrior when you're online and you're commenting to people? Well, do that on your schooling. If there's something that they put up about history or science or English or math and you think it's really cool or you have an idea, just share it. This is what being connected in an online world is about. Your key focus for this section is your large world of touch has just made incredibly small. So you got to focus on the connection. Taking charge. I really like this one too. Doing an online course is really your choice, and how well you do is up to you. There is nobody here that's telling you to go on at this time and to do this and to keep working. You have to be your own person of control. Your success is in your hands. So there's less accountability, which gives you more freedom. My suggestion is you can use it to your advantage and shine. Whatever grade you're in right now, the goal is for you to be in the next grade next year. So why wouldn't you learn as much as you can and love as much as you can? Find a time for schooling that works for you and to your advantage. So your peak performance hours. If you're not a morning person, don't do schooling in the morning. If you're not a night person, don't do schooling at night. You have to do it whenever it works with your brain. This is my very exciting tip for you of what I have learned at my online courses. I don't know how yours will work, but this is really important. I hope you're paying attention. Take amazing notes, because tests and quizzes will likely be online. This is also known as open book. So what am I saying? I'm saying that in my experience and my classes, almost all of my tests have been online. I open up the processor, I type my answers, and the teachers say they're open book. So I have my answers right in front of me. So this is why you want to take amazing notes, aside from the fact that you want to learn too. Take the time to do self-learning. What does that mean? Well, if something comes up and you don't understand it, or you don't really understand what a word means, or there's a concept that doesn't really make sense, whatever, you're literally already on the computer. Take the opportunity to learn yourself and Google search whatever it is that you're trying to understand. And you're going to have so much better comprehension of what it is that you're trying to learn. You're probably going to get a great grade. And then share the resources that you found. Share them in your comment section with your students and your teacher. This is a great way to make sure that you take charge of your learning. Backups. I can't stress this one enough. So previous to this, we would learn in school, and then when you go home to do your homework, you do it on the computer on a Word program, and we tell you to back it up, to save your program. Every 5 minutes, resave your work so then you don't lose it. Well, now we're not working on paper and pen, we're working on computer. So always do your work on paper is my suggestion. After you get your assignments, start your first copy on paper and then do it on the Word programming. Don't do it directly on the portal. If there is a section that you can type in, don't do that. You're gonna do it in a Word program, copy and paste it after you've saved it, and then put it into the place on the portal. Why? If your internet shuts down, if your program shuts down, you don't lose all of that work that you've now typed into your portal. This is how you back stuff up on an online schooling. So some things I've learned is I will email backups to the teacher if I feel like it didn't go through successfully, or my computer timed out, or I had questions. I will send my teacher an email that moment and say, I just emailed my homework to you. Tell me if you didn't get it. Here's a copy just in case. So then if we have a time limit, it's still there and I still make the deadline and everything's okay. Take pictures of your assignments or print them. So when you're on the portal and it says today's assignment for the week in math is this, print that or take a picture of that. Why? So then you can do your homework not on the computer, you can do it by paper. If you live in a house where other people need that same computer or iPad or whatever it is that you're using, this way it allows them to share access to that and you're not taking up all that time. Keep your work in your workstation so you don't lose it. This is your new locker. So for me, my at-home workstation is my dining room table. So I have an area that has all of my paperwork and all of my pens and stuff that I need here on my dining room table. So that's my workstation. I keep it there. Nobody touches it. This is my funniest slide. I think procrastination killed my A+. I am a procrastinator by nature, and I had to learn really hard not to be a procrastinator with online learning. Don't procrastinate. Why? Because things happen, unexpected things happen, especially with technology, and you don't want to make yourself receive a negative mark because something happened and you couldn't post in time. So go online every day, stay up to date on your classes. Why? Well, you never know what's happened, what's posted, and it just helps so that you don't feel very overwhelmed at the end of the week. Every day, at the starting of the day, try to write out your to-dos for that day. Have a clear schedule visual, so make sure you have your schedule beside you and don't forget to schedule in breaks. Every evening, write out what you haven't finished that day that you still have left to do. And then add it to your list for the next day. Every Saturday, I am suggesting that you tie up your loose ends from the week, any homework that you haven't finished, any learning that you haven't done, any comments that you haven't read, go back on and just tie that up so that you can start on Sunday fresh. You're going to prepare your workstation, you're going to clean up your mess, and you're going to be ready to go Monday for a new week in class, all nice and shiny. So leave space for the unexpected because unexpected things happen. Technology is brutal. You have to allow time for mistakes. Sometimes, something might delete or you might press the wrong button, or your screen might go black, your battery might run out, your internet might kick you off. All of these things happen and it's okay. But they are unexpected things. You have to allow time for that, again, with the not procrastinating. So unexpected things that can happen with focus. You might have a day that you're very focused on other things and having a hard time focusing on school. That's okay. You need to allow time for unexpected breaks. So maybe you need more breaks that day, or maybe you need longer breaks that day, or different types of breaks. And that's okay. It's okay to have those days. In special education, we call those days Plan B days. It's okay to have not a great on day. You got to allow yourself that. Unexpected things with the workload or homework. Sometimes you might get a very large task or something that's out of your comfort zone that you don't really understand how to do. And that's okay. So my suggestion is to compartmentalize it, meaning to break it down into smaller tasks. Think about if you had one ginormous task in this huge box that you had to figure out how to sort. You would get 5 different smaller boxes and put things in the boxes to make that big box into smaller boxes. That's how you're going to break it down into smaller tasks. Conquer one mountain at a time. So don't do a million things if you're feeling like you're overwhelmed or something unexpected has happened. Just pick one thing, focus on it, and conquer it. And then the next thing. Also, in this slide, it's not written down here, but I do want to remind you that you have the ability to reach out to your teacher and the EAs and all of the certs and anybody that can help you during this time. So give yourself that break and allow yourself some people to de-stress with. The art of letting go. So I really want you to realize that we're learning a new platform. This is a never explored before thing that we're doing, at least in my school board. It may take you a minute to understand it. Maybe you're really good at science and computer and technology stuff. It might take you a day, maybe you're average, or it might take you a month. Either way, it doesn't matter how long it takes you. Guess what? The point is that you're learning. And that is the goal, that you keep using your brain, you keep working on it, and that we're moving forward. So either way, I'm proud of you. We're here at a brand new era. And in order to move forward, we have to let go of all of our thoughts and perceptions of what this is going to look like. It's going to happen, and we're going to go on this wonderful adventure, and we're going to do it together. It's uncharted land. Now, if you know your history, you're going to think of people like Lois and Clark, or I don't really know my history very well, but say Christopher Columbus or whoever. They decided to explore. They went into new land and they had no idea where they were going. They had thoughts and hopes, and they ended up completely in different places. That's the exciting part of it. So we're going to do this together. Make sure you check in with people. Make sure you ask your classmates, how are they doing? And what did you think of that assignment? Where are you? Don't compare yourself, because it's not who's doing it better. Online learning is self-motivated. What you're capable of doing is going to be different for everybody else. Just check in with people, but don't compare. Be proud of what you can accomplish, because it's more than you could accomplish yesterday. Check in with your teacher. They're the only one who's going to be marking you, and make sure they're satisfied with your work. Just drop them a line. Hey, how's it going? What did you think of this? Should I change anything? I think that's a great idea. All right, so that was my last slide. And here we are, final thoughts and final remarks. You got this. You guys, I'm so, so proud of you. You're gonna do amazing things. You're gonna learn amazing things. You're taking your life in your own hands, and we can't be more proud of you. Reach out to us if you need help. We're all in this together. We're learning just as much as you. You never know what you're capable of until you try it.